Hello everyone, my name is John. I'm a tour guide with Depot Adventures, and I am speaking loudly because I've come a long way away to answer a very simple question. How far is Adelaide from Melbourne? The answer? 700 kilometers. Now look, don't go yet. I realize that it seems like a very straightforward answer. The question is, are you asking the right question? Because yes, it is 700 kilometers to drive from Melbourne to Adelaide. But number one, what is that measuring? Number two, is this the best way to get there? And number three, let's find out what else there is to know about it. First off, 700 kilometers is a direct distance. Where does this start from? This starts from the center of Melbourne. If you go into the very center of Melbourne, you are going to find the General Post Office. The GPO for short currently houses the H&M. The H&M is actually the physical center point of Melbourne. When you measure the number of kilometers away you are from Melbourne, you are measuring from the flagpole on the General Post Office. Why? Because the post office was the most important building in Melbourne's early days. When Melbourne first began, the post would bring in mail from around the world. It would take 8 months to get here from the capital, from London. And so when the postal ship had arrived, it was a very important thing. That is what you are measuring from when you measure distance from Melbourne somewhere else. Where is the center point of Adelaide? You're gonna have to watch a future video for that. But the second question, is this the best way to get to Adelaide? If all you care about is distance, then yeah, it's the most direct route to get to Adelaide. However, there's a much prettier route that you should take if you're a tourist coming through here along Great Ocean Road. This way is a straight shot, fairly boring the entire way through. But if you go down Great Ocean Road, you will be greeted with some of the most beautiful sights that Australia has to offer, as opposed to this, which has a lot of rubbish. And in fact, I am on the National Highway, the Western Freeway. It's actually the National Highway, but it leaves Melbourne surrounds. And I'm surrounded right now by a paddock. You might see some horses behind me right now. But in general, when you go to Adelaide, I recommend that you take the Great Ocean Road route. Now, if you are at a limited time in Australia, it is a long drive. People underestimate just how big Australia is. I always like to put it in the context. Australia is a country the size of the United States in geography, with a population of just slightly more than New York City. We are a large and empty country. And if you are expecting to drive from every capital city to every capital city, I hope that you are planning at least a 6-month trip while you're here, because it does take quite a while to drive. To drive straight through will take you around about 2 days if you want to be aggressive with your driving. And just be driving. It's going to be a bit boring. There are some roads in Australia that you can travel to that are so deserted that you have to actually check in from a visitor book when you go there. So there's one that goes across the outback from South Australia all the way to Perth, to Western Australia. And when you leave the main tarmac road, there's a little guest book that you sign in for, and you are meant to bring your supplies, including petrol. You need to ship your petrol with you in the car, because there will not be gas stations that will get you that entire way across. And so that's a long and desolate drive. This is not that. This is a well-marked road with lots of service stations along the way. The trip to Adelaide in total, 700 kilometers. Guys, my name is John. I am a tour guide in Melbourne, and so I am just in the Melbourne metropolitan area. That's why that still says Western Freeway. If you guys would like to know more, please come on one of my tours. Depot Adventures has tours going every single day from here in Melbourne, and we are crazy enough to come out to random places like this so you can learn about Melbourne. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.